Hi, I'm Rich Torrey. Welcome to another Level Up Cartooning. All you ever need to follow along with me is a pencil and paper. It doesn't get any easier than that, right? As I said last week, I love October because the imagery of Halloween provides us with a treasure trove of creepy characters as drawing prompts. One of my favorites has always been Frankenstein, with his signature neck or head bolts, scars, and that awesome flat head and the brow like a shell. Today we're going to take three characters, Bart Simpson, SpongeBob, and Goofy, and draw them as Frankenstein, simply for the fun of it. Much like our Hocus Pocus caricature exercise last week, drawing today's characters will want to strike a balance, drawing them somewhere between what they normally look like and the Frankenstein characteristics I mentioned earlier. Once we're done, I encourage you to pick other characters and try doing the same thing with them, okay? So before we get started, make sure you hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button as it helps this channel to grow, and hit the bell so you never miss a lesson, all right? So let's draw Bart, SpongeBob, and Goofy as Frankenstein. We're going to draw our three Frankies step by step, giving you the secret formula to be able to draw them again and again. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I normally use the character's head to figure out how big the entire character is. The tallest of the bunch, Goofy, is about 4 heads tall. In other words, however tall his head is, his entire body will be 4 of those. Bart is a little over 2 heads tall. And Bob, or is it Frankenpants, or Frankensponge? Anyway, however tall you draw that rubber rectangle that makes up his head and his body, his legs and hands are about half of that height. Okay, so let's start with our roadmap of Bart Simpson, SpongeBob, and Goofy as Frankenstein. So there's a roadmap for our three Frankies. Now we're on to step 2. In this step we do what I call roughing out the features. I want to remind you that until the third and final step, you want to draw as light as possible. You'll see that I use guidelines to help me to know where to draw in the Franken features of our three characters. We don't want those guidelines in the final drawing, so you want to draw them light enough to be able to erase them easily. Okay, so let's rough out the features for Franken Goofy, Frankenstein Bart, and SpongeBob Frankenpants. Okay, so there are the roughed out features for our 3 Frankies. So now with the roadmap done and the features roughed out, it's time for that final step. In step 3, we get to have fun. We get to draw in the final details of our 3 Frankensteins. We don't have to guess where to put things because we've already done all the hard work to figure that out. In this step, it's okay to draw darker, but don't press too hard or mindlessly retrace over the lines you've already drawn. Always draw with an eye on tweaking and improving until the very end. So let's draw in the details for our 3 Frankies. Alrighty, there they are. Frank and Goofy, Frank and Bart, and SpongeBob Frankenpants. So how do you think you did? Understand, if you've never drawn these characters before, in their regular forms or as Frankenstein, you can't expect to have drawn them perfectly. You notice I don't spend time coloring our Frankies during this video because I want my lesson to focus solely on the drawing process. Now you have the secret formula, the process for drawing Frankenstein versions of Goofy, Bart Simpson, and SpongeBob. And with that, you can draw them again and again. And by all means, color them when you're done. I promise each time you draw them, it'll be a little better and a little easier. I also promise the more you work with me, the better you're going to get at all of your cartoon characters. For those of you who want to go a little deeper, click on the link below for my free 4-part drawing series, where I spend more time explaining the details and the thinking behind each step in what I call the level up cartooning process. So I'd love to see your Frankenstein versions of these 3 characters. If you can, post them on either Facebook or Instagram, and don't forget to include the hashtag levelupcartooning. I also want to once again encourage you to pick other characters and draw them as Frankenstein, and I'd love to see those as well. In the meantime, I hope you had as much fun as I did with this one. Remember to subscribe, and thanks for joining me. Until next time, keep drawing, my friends.